All right, we're recording. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pound Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Dan, and I am joined
And
by my co-host.
bad luck. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Yes, so bad luck. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's things going over there? We've both had quite a busy few weeks.
I know. Yeah, it's been. I think we were talking about it right before this about when our last. So this is our third episode, right?
Yeah,
Third
episode
podcast.
3.
Episode 3, and it's probably been 3 weeks since I uploaded the last one, episode 2.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, it's been a while, but we both have some pretty good excuses. Not that anyone's really like, where the hell's episode 3 of the Pound Lounge podcast?
I'm a very dedicated fan. They've left me stranded. It's like we have 2 people watching.
Yeah. Well, you know
And 2 of
what?
those people are relatives,
Actually,
probably.
I think we have over 17 views on each of the videos. And I can tell you they're not from me. So, unless you are watching it a whole bunch of times,
Yeah.
some
yeah.
people are watching those. So,
Which is cool. Although it'll probably be less people now that my main Twitter account's gone, but we'll see.
oh, so have you gotten your followers back up or what?
I mean, I have all my mutuals, which I'm assuming are the people that were watching. I don't think it was like,
Okay.
random followers I didn't know that were really
So
dedicated
you
to the
still
podcast.
have, so you pretty much got all your
Yeah.
real mutuals to refollow you, or they probably
Yeah,
already were.
Yeah, most of them already were. I mean, the private account was, just mutuals, basically.
Gotcha. Listen, before we go any further, what are you sipping on?
I did not grab a drink. I just realized that. I'll be right back.
You don't have to.
No, I need to. I'm already thirsty. I just didn't realize it.
All right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
Very professional.
I just listen to this. Oh yeah. So it's a peach pear LaCroix. And it's actually pretty good. I got it just over a week ago, just a couple days before I left. And I only had a couple of them. And I just got back to Florida and shit's tasty. It's good.
Yep. And I just realized something. This is the first episode where I'm actually using my mic correctly.
It sounds good. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
For sure.
So let's do a little bit of ASMR bad luck hour. Because this
Okay.
is the first time I've actually been able to do it.
Here, go like this.
I can't hear your ASMR.
Oh, you couldn't hear that?
No, I can't hear it. I know it comes up for the podcast because I listen to it, but
Okay.
it's not. It doesn't come up from my end.
So maybe it won't for me either from you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But all right, so let's tell the people what we've been up to. So I freaking went through the hurricane in Florida. It hit literally where I live. And
It's like first week until Florida, he got hit by a hurricane. It's
it
terrible.
was yeah, it was I was living here for over 2 months cuz well, wait, no, it hadn't even been 2 months yet. It was
No,
not even
you
2
were
freaking
new.
months. I moved to Florida. I got here, I think it was August 5th was my first night here. And the hurricane hit, I think, like September 28th or something like that. So close to 2 months, but
Yeah.
not even a full 2 freaking months. Holy crap. But yeah, so that sucked. I was without electricity for 9 days. And this house got a little damaged, not terrible, but all
Yeah.
these cities down here are just like looks like a hurricane hit them.
I am noticing. Hopefully, it doesn't show up in the podcast, but we are having a bit of trouble with the voice connection a little bit.
Voice connection?
Yeah, the call cutting in and out.
Oh,
for a
is
little
it?
bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed it yet.
Um,
So
It's coming and going pretty quick, but if anyone notices that, hopefully it stabilizes. I think it's Wi-Fi. There's not much
I
you can do
don't
about
think
it.
they'll notice it because it's recording from my end and I haven't noticed it yet.
Oh, okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, I stayed at my friend's place for a couple nights up in Tampa where it wasn't nearly as bad. And from going from here to up there, it was like going from an apocalypse to civilization because every building has damage down here. Everyone was without electricity. There was literally thousands of bucket trucks down here, and shit was
So it
crazy.
was like going, it
Yeah,
was going from like Chicago to anywhere else that's not Chicago.
it was like what's that movie where zombies?
I Am Legend.
No, well, okay, kind of like yeah, like I Am Legend, but I was thinking of the one I think it's called 28 Days Later. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
that's
that?
vampires, isn't it?
Yes, that's vampires. Okay, which I Am Legend is kind of like vampires too, but they're like
It
vampire
depends.
zombies. They can only come out at night and or in the dark, and you know that's kind of
Yeah,
vampiric.
but like they don't drink blood.
But they eat people, and they're
Zombies
super
eat people.
fast and strong. Listen, they're vampire zombie hybrids.
No, they're not. You're
Well, they
just
don't
wrong.
even look like zombies actually because they're not even like rotting.
Yes, they are.
No, they're
They're slightly
not.
rotting.
No,
Their
they.
skin, their skin's damaged. That's why they can't go in the sun. It damages them because their skin's hypersensitive now. If anything, they're more like the creatures from Descent, which is a good movie. Not the second one, the first one.
You know what? That actually is a good movie.
It's a really good movie.
Isn't there an alternate ending where
Um,
they actually make it out?
I'm not sure.
I
I've
believe
only
there
seen the
is.
version where they sacrifice the Asian bitch, which dick move on the one girl's part because it's like, okay, it was your fault, friend's fault for getting killed. Let's be real here. It was totally her fault.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been years since I've seen that movie, so I really can't remember a whole lot of it. I just remember it
Okay,
being
so
sketchy.
I'm going to spoil it. Turn off if you don't want to be spoiled for Descent. You know this 15-year-old movie you haven't watched, but if you really don't want to be spoiled for it, go watch it. It's a good movie. Um, but basically, Zoe, the Asian girl, just killed one of those things, and the friend like sneaks up behind her, like, "Hey, how are you doing?" But she touches her back without saying anything. So Zoe whips around and stabs her because she's like, "Oh shit, it's one of those monsters." And the other girl sees this whole thing, and she's like, "You murdered her." It's like it was your friend's fault, the dumb bitch. You don't sneak up on someone.
Yeah, that movie was pretty crazy.
It
I
was
remember there
great.
is an alternative ending as well, but
I'll probably watch it. I'm actually been rewatching a bunch of old movies like Sign and
oh
Scream.
nice.
Signs is so good.
So yeah, there was freaking National Guard was down here directing traffic because none of the street lights worked. Like shit was just crazy for basically 2 weeks, and then I left to go to Maine. I left last Saturday, and then just came back today. So I was only there for like 6 days, but
Yeah. Also, you're quite the trooper doing a podcast the day you come back after jet lag. But also,
well,
I love how I sidetracked you. You were talking about your traumatic, literal natural
right. And then we started
disaster.
talking about freaking Descent.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, have you guys seen any good movies? I know he's in the corner from PTSD.
And it's not
but,
even a good movie either. Descent is not really a good movie.
No, Descent is a good movie. Descent 2 is bad.
Yeah.
I think Descent is great.
Great? You think
I am
it's
like,
great?
I think it's one of the best horrors. Yeah.
But okay, we got one of the best horrors. Cut it out, dude. There's so many better horror movies than Descent.
Not real at atmosphere wise, it's a very good movie. They're consistent with the monsters' power levels. They're consistent on their pack mentality. You know, them being weak to certain things. And they filmed in a real cave, so the lighting and all that stuff is real. It's well, they didn't film in a real cave, but they went to a real cave and rebuilt it from the ground up. If I'm remembering correctly, and they would not use any artificial light. for the entire filming process. It's actually really
How the
perfect.
fuck do you know all this?
I watched behind the scenes.
Gotcha. You watched the behind the scenes?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, it's really good.
All right, let's talk about what you've been doing the last few weeks. So,
Um, I actually got a job, so I've kind of cut Dan here and been too busy for him, and he's let me know. Don't worry,
yeah, it's real fucked up.
it's real fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad you got a job. I'm glad you got a job. God knows you need one.
Yes,
But it's just like, don't forget your roots. Don't forget where you came from.
I'll remember you when I'm famous. I promise.
Yes, please do. Write me in your will right now.
Yeah, yeah. My part-time job. Although I might as well be considered famous. I already know all of the town's drama because for some reason I'm fine admitting this. I work as a cashier. Uh um uh and people open up to a brand new cashier like it's their lifetime therapist for some reason.
Yeah, and are they people that tend to be buying alcohol and cigarettes and freaking
Yeah, absolutely.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have lottery?
absolutely.
Do you have
Yeah, we have
scratch offs
lottery.
and shit at your store?
Yeah, yeah. That one I'm not shocked by people opening up because my uncle has a gambling addiction, and every time I would have to go to the store with him and he bought a lottery, he would tell
Hmm.
them how he ruined his whole life buying the lottery and stuff. I'm like, please, please, I have to show my face here again. Please stop talking. You're embarrassing me.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, every person that's addicted to the lottery will tell me that. I'm like, I know. I know. You've probably been in a AA meeting with my uncle. Trust me, I know.
I know that.
Uh,
Listen, I think a cashiering job, whether it be at like a fast food place or whether it be at a convenience store, gas station, whatever, a freaking Dollar General, whatever it may be, I think it's important for a lot of people,
it
to
is.
have
If
that under their
people,
belt. Typically when they're young, because it's pretty sad if you're 45 years old and doing that.
hmm
No offense. I'm not offending any. I'm not trying to offend anybody by saying that. I'm just saying,
you don't want to
like, you
start your career at
probably
40.
don't have a lot going on. If
Yeah.
you know,
If you're starting your career at 45, you're either not going to go too many places or you're Bernie Sanders. One of the two.
well, not even starting your career if you're still being a cashier at 45 at
Hmm
a freaking
You
a
found your
Dollar
place in life
General.
for that.
Then yeah, but and I'm not shitting on anyone. Okay, I just know what it is. Okay, because when I was young, when I was 17 years old at my first job, I worked for Dunkin' Donuts for a year and a half, and there were some old people that were working there, and their lives fucking sucked. So
Yeah, they were living paycheck to
yeah,
paycheck.
yeah,
Absolutely.
their life sucked. They're
Understandable.
like drug addicts. Their whole family's drug addicts. It just is what it
Mhm.
is. But
Yep.
it's important. It's important for people to have that. I'll call it a skill because it literally
Mhm.
teaches you how to deal with people. It does.
Absolutely.
Teaches you how to
I,
deal with people.
yeah, absolutely. If you can defuse the alcoholics and druggies that are in a bad mood buying stuff from you, you can defuse literally a nuclear bomb threat at that point with people's
Exactly.
skills.
You're already a nuclear scientist
Yeah.
if you can work at a Dollar General,
Yeah.
and survive.
And
But
survive, not get shanked.
yeah, because it's like, so you're learning how to, and people could say like, oh, it's so depressing, and whatnot. Well, it's not a job meant to last forever, okay?
Yeah.
And but you're really learning how to talk to people. I mean, you're learning how to sometimes how to pretend to care, because maybe sometimes you have to, but you're also learning, an important thing that I learned was how to basically tell people like, yeah, I don't want to listen to this, so let's get back to your order or whatever. And and that's
Yeah.
important,
Yeah. Yeah, you
to
have to redirect them back into like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. There's a line, but I'd love to hear your story later.
Yeah.
basically.
But also there's like so much other shit that goes along with it. You know, you learn how to deal with shitty coworkers. You learn how to deal with shitty people, owners, all that sort of stuff. And it's
Mhm.
like I said, it's kind of something that you want to be doing for a whole lot of years. But
Yeah.
I think it's important to have that down. You know, it's
I will say my the owner and my coworkers are actually great. They're great. Um,
nice.
Although one of them's known as the cranky one, but she's been great to me, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really funny about being a cashier is it doesn't matter what the voting map or like political map says about a state, whether they're blue or red, because your individual city could be the most fucking Republican city ever, even in a blue state. Because well, I am a blue state, and uh, because I live on the west fucking coast, they're all blue states. And holy shit, I have not met one Democrat. They will tell me their entire political beliefs in a second, and they're all Republican.
Yeah, I love that. I love that
Yeah.
when they just start like way to make everything awkward when you just start talking about politics to a fucking cashier. I mean,
Mhm.
like what do you expect them to say back to you? Like fuck yeah, make America great again. Like you expect them to just start
Yeah,
going into
like
politics with you?
ostracize potential other customers with their political statements.
Not just that, but it's like if you're crazy enough to just start talking about politics to a cashier, then chances are that cashier doesn't want to talk to you because it's like, oh,
I
great,
mean,
this guy's
I
gonna
don't
stand
mind it
here.
because people can be pretty funny about it. Like, I don't care, but like when they see like inflation prices, because that's like why everyone's been talking about it,
Oh yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, damn, fucking Democrat." It's like, yeah, but like, what do you want me to do about it? I can't affect your bill.
fucking. Why are these Doritos $6 for a bag?
They will argue with me and like, look, I that's the system. I don't know what
How
to tell
expensive
you.
are the Doritos at your store?
$5.59 for a big
Yeah,
bag.
that's about how much they are here in Florida. I was
Hmm.
surprised. I bought
Yep.
I bought a thing of Doritos a few weeks ago, I think. Actually, I think it was before the hurricane. Yeah, it was before the hurricane, and they were over $5.
Yes.
It's like, man,
They're not even worth it anymore. Like the Cool Ranch ones used to be my favorite, and
yeah.
I swear they put less seasoning on it now. It's like bland almost. Like you get like one that's really dusted up, and the rest just fall to the bottom, and they're tasteless.
I feel like most junk food just does not hit the same as it used to.
I think they literally started to have to be healthier, which they're still unhealthy. Um, and honestly, if they just advertise themselves as unhealthy, that would be better than what they're currently doing, where they're like, "Oh, it's 30% reduced fat." Yeah, it's still over like 800 calories, which is one third of your calories a day, but it's less fat.
Actually, a whole bag of Doritos is like well over 1,000 calories for
It
sure.
is.
Yeah.
It 100% is.
All
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
you wanna hear some fucked up shit that I ate, some real junk food that I ate while I was in Maine the last five
Mhm.
days. So,
Oh, I did think of a topic, but finish your story first. But I have a topic, a rant.
so um, I went to a Burger King for the first time in a while because I
Hmm.
haven't been to one down here, and I went to a Burger King and I found because my friends and I up there like we like Burger King. I don't know why. I do know why. It stems from like high school and shit. But we like Burger King.
I used to love it. It's so bad in my area now. Like, it got way worse in my
Yeah.
area. I don't know if
Well,
it's a
I like
universal.
Whoppers, and they have a bunch of different types of Whoppers. Like I like that they're big sandwiches, and I like the way they
Mm-hmm.
taste. But so so my friends were talking about how like there's a new Halloween Whopper,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember years ago there was a
The Black
Halloween
Whopper.
Whopper where it had a black bun. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, the black bun.
And
Black bun.
and if you ate it, it would turn your shit green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's black and green dye, I'm
And
pretty
I had
sure.
like three of them back then. This was like three or 4 years ago. It was a while ago, but yes, they absolutely turned my shit green. So my fucking white trash self was like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm high because that's all I did was just get high the last 5 days because my second day there, my one of my friend's dad gave me a half ounce of weed for free, and it was stuff that he grew, and he doesn't even smoke. I guess he's trying to sell it to a dispensary, but no one's buying it, so he's just giving it away to people, and I got a half ounce for free, and I couldn't take it back with me to Florida, so I was like, I need to smoke this. I need to smoke all of this while I'm here.
Oh my! Is a half ounce like a lot? I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
dude. A half ounce is like depending where you are, what kind of quality you're getting. Half ounce, at least me growing up, it was like $100 or more.
Holy
So,
fuck!
so yeah, it's a lot, and it's definitely not the best stuff, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad and it was free. So it gave me an excuse to buy a pipe, a new glass pipe, and I still have a lot of it left over. I left it up there,
Oh,
but
that reminds me. Laws around glass pipes are so stupid. We're not allowed to call them glass pipes, but we can still sell them. But we have to call them bubble pipes. And if
really,
we, yeah, they have to be called bubble pipes because then they can be used for other. I'm doing air quotes. Other method. Um.
I'm
Uh.
actually gonna smoke some weed right now.
Yeah. Go. But
Fucking
So,
420.
but like it's so pointless because it's like okay we won't call them glass pipes but you know what everyone's using them like that's just government controlled like
I didn't
pointless.
know that's a thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a thing like they won't call them glass pipes at least here it
So you
has to
you
be
sell them at your
bubble pipe.
store?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we call them bubble.
that's such a I'm not gonna dox where you live, but that's such a like a
West Coast.
no, not even that. That's such a state that has legalized recreational marijuana thing because
Yeah,
in my in my little hometown where there's just one store and it's a family owned gas station, they fucking sell weed pipes there.
yeah.
It's so funny.
Uh-huh.
But
um
okay, sorry. So I fucking went and ate at that Burger King. I got the fucking Carolina Reaper Whopper. No, it's like a Ghost Pepper Whopper. Sorry, Ghost Pepper Whopper, something like that.
I
Bruh, it was
really hope they bring back their ghost pepper fries. Those were so good.
who had that?
Wendy's used to have that.
Were they
Cheese.
spicy? Were they spicy?
Very slightly, but they did have a
Yes.
ghost pepper tang.
Because you know what? This burger was very slightly spicy. And I've
Yeah,
eaten a ghost pepper before, okay? The worst thing I've ever put in my mouth and swallowed.
yeah,
And
yeah. I don't know why they like advertise it as like the world's spiciest, but then it tastes like maybe Tabasco
oh
levels.
no, I mean
If
I've
that.
had no, the ghost pepper was horrible. Like
Yeah,
it
the ghost
was
pepper.
it destroyed my life for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And but this burger was nothing like that at
Nothing,
all. It
nothing.
wasn't
Yeah,
and the burger looked fucking horrible. It had like an orange bun and shit, but it didn't turn my poop any color. So I was upset about that.
I mean, I was gonna say if it turned it green and orange, that was gonna be very Halloween themed poop.
Yeah, no, you're right. But it didn't. It didn't do anything to it. So I
Wendy's
wouldn't
or
recommend. Also, it's super expensive. It was like almost $7.50 just for the burger.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't think it's some like double Whopper. I think it's just a
Uh
regular.
huh.
So would not recommend it.
Honestly, a McDonald's or someplace should advertise like eat this meal and you'll have holiday colored themed poop.
Exactly,
Red
and
and
that would
blue.
sell because we're Americans, we're trash,
And yeah,
and
we
people
want
would
some
love that.
classy stylized poop. And we love it.
And you know
Anyways,
what? McDonald's and Burger King are not above that. They are not above
no.
selling products that change your poop a different color. One, because they've literally done it. But two,
Hmm.
sure they didn't advertise it like that, but they're not above advertising it like that. Let's be honest. With
They know
everything that
their
they've
audience.
advertised, all the shit that they've done,
Mm-hmm.
they're not above it.
But actually, that was kind of the rant I wanted to go back to. Okay, so
Let's do it.
like basically the calorie stuff and like how they advertise stuff as healthy, but it's still like just as bad for you if you're eating at inequalities. but the stuff that's healthy is still literally medically designed and also marketing designed to be addictive. So it doesn't matter even if it was individually more healthy. It's it has the same addictive qualities as real drug. So
Hmm.
of course people are getting fat. And I was watching this documentary that really pissed me off because you could tell it was kind of funded by McDonald's in
Really?
those areas. Because they were like, actually, kids being fat is completely, there's no outside force but bad parenting. And it's like, okay, well, we've had bad parents before and we've had an abundance of food in the 70s and we were not that fat.
Well,
It's
I
almost like,
think also is that fast food, yes, it was a thing in the 70s and 80s, but it wasn't as readily available maybe as it is now. I mean, now you've got the DoorDash and you probably have way more different types of fast food restaurants than back then, you
that
know?
and like, okay, it is partially the parents' fault. Don't get me wrong. Yeah,
Oh, it's
it is.
totally like that's you
It,
got to that's like
they're
50%.
bad parents. Actually, there was a kid, he was my nephew's age, so 8 years old, and he had to have been close to 200 pounds. He walked into the store, bought 8 pieces of candy, like three king size bar, and he was eating it that night and two ice cream cones. And he just walked into this tiny convenience store, and he was out of breath by the time he
Oh.
got to the
He
counter.
was 8 years
And
old?
he was like 8 years old, almost 200 pounds.
Oh
He
my
was so
gosh.
I almost said something to the parent because he's like, "Oh, okay, you can have two ice cream bars because we're cutting back. Just remember, that's it." I'm like, "Really?
Was
That's it?
was
It's
the
only
parent
2,000 calories
large
of
as
candy
well?
for one." Yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah.
no, he was skinny. The dad was
Really?
skinny, so it pissed me off even more.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and it's like you're killing your kid, and
Yeah,
you're acting like restricting down to two ice cream bars is enough to save him. Fuck off.
right? Two
But
ice cream bars. Two?
two
Two,
ice
and
cream
that's
bars.
restricting?
Yeah,
What the
two ice
fuck?
cream bars and three king size candy bars, and 5 pieces of different kind of candy,
Yeah,
like
no,
you know the
that's
dewdrops.
child abuse for sure. That's child
Yeah.
abuse.
So like, yes, that is also absolutely the parents' fault, but also I do think that like we have to acknowledge these multi-billion, like McDonald's makes 16, like what, $116 billion a year or something crazy.
Big company.
Uh, yeah, ginormous company. Um, and even kids that never had fast food because of the advertising, because of the, just all the marketing that goes into it, want and crave McDonald's. Like psychologically, we can look at their brain.
Hmm.
So while it is the parenting, any documentaries, it's like it's 100% the parents' fault without acknowledging bad parents have always exist, but there's getting more and more fat people. We have to acknowledge that the food companies, with not just marketing, but they literally design their food to be addictive. Like, let's look at some of their marketing. You know the Pop'ems, the like chips that are like airy poppables. You have you seen those?
Mm-mm. I don't know if I've seen them, but it's not ringing a bell.
Okay, so it's like Lay's chips, and they're designed to be low fat, but they have the perfect crunchy texture and airiness. So you want to eat, like, you pop them in your mouth. That's the whole marketing thing. They're addictive. You can't
Hmm.
stop. And
Yeah.
they literally did research to make it addictive by the audible sound it makes in your mouth, by the crunch on your tongue, and the little bit of flavor it does give you. Like they did brain scans to see this was the most addictive chip they could make for that uh audience. And like they need to take just as much responsibility because if they're literally designing it to be addictive, yeah, of course people are going to get fatter. It doesn't matter if you design it to be healthy if you're making them eat like 2,000 chips, even if they were 1 calorie each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
No, and you know what's interesting is that because you mentioned like the 70s and 80s, like people weren't as big, which is obviously true. I mean, just watch
yeah, we've
movies from the
tripled
70s and
childhood
80s.
obesity in the last 30
Yeah.
years.
Well, not even movies. Just if you have family members that have pictures from back then in the 70s and
Yeah,
80s, like
there's hardly any fat people.
exactly, hardly any fat people for sure. But I do notice in some movies, most 70s movies you're not going to see like any fat people. But in a lot of 80s movies, I see people get like slightly bigger because in the
And they're the
70s people
fat
looked like
character.
fucking like lanky, just like real just kind of
Hmm.
lanky people. Some overall.
Yeah.
But then in the 80s, I kind of start seeing people maybe fill out a little bit. And
Hmm.
then now it's
And
just
they're
like,
usually
half
the
the people are
fat
fat.
character too. Like they wouldn't be considered fat by our standards, but back then, like the chubby characters of the '80s, who wouldn't even be considered chubby by today's standards, are the fat character you're supposed to make fun of.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I think that has a lot to do with, fast food. Like it probably was becoming bigger in the 80s and then obviously bigger in the 90s and then bigger in the 2000s and who knows if it's probably as big as it's ever been right now, but it definitely obviously I would say, the rise of fast food probably definitely correlates with the rise of
Not
obesity.
not just the rise of fast food, but like just like the rise of fast food industry also paying scientists and doctors to scan people's brains
Yeah.
to see like what people are getting addicted to.
So was
Like
this
that.
in the documentary that you watched?
No, the documentary just blamed the parents. They didn't even mention fast food,
Mm.
which is my problem. Because, like, absolutely blame the parents too. There are bad parents that deserve to be called out. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
when those parents who are now like 40, so, they were growing up when fast food was starting to come out with these addictive qualities, they're getting raised and trained to eat that way from their childhood, and then they're having kids, so of course they're going to like have bad habits and raise those kids in those bad habits too. So I'm not saying it's one side's fault, but if a documentary is not even mentioning that fast food is making addictive food on purpose, I feel like they have to be funded by the fast food industry at that point.
Yeah. Very sketchy, who
Yeah.
who knows.
Because it's one thing to just be like, oh, both sides are really fucked up and maybe there should be some intervention. But then also, then the documentary that's supposed to be about child health doesn't even mention any outside factor than, you know, why the kids love these foods so much. No, just the parents are bad. They're
Mhm.
just bad parents. The food's not the problem. They actually said that in the documentary. Doesn't matter what kind of food your child eats, it's the parents overfeeding them.
Yeah, I feel like, that old saying, moderation is key.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that's the truth for sure.
It it's definitely the truth, but it's a simplistic truth because it's like
It's
a
not
lot of
easy.
people that think the moderation is key, they don't like even like if you watch something from the 90s like Roseanne, there was an episode about Roseanne where she was trying to lose weight and she's like, "Wait, I can eat whatever I want as long as I work out." And it's like, "No, you can't. You can't outrun a bad diet. Like no matter how much you jog,
Hmm.
you're not outrunning 5,000 calories."
Yeah, people got to know that, it,
Yeah.
but that's not
And a
really
lot of
moderation. Eating whatever you want as long as you
yeah, but
exercise.
like
That's
a
not
lot of people
moderation.
that
That's
hmm
like a scale.
yeah, but a
But
lot of people think like it's possible to like work off like an ice cream cone or something. It's like, okay, even an ice cream cone, like a small one, it's like 400 calories. So if you're already at the limit and you eat an ice cream cone, that would be like 2 hours of running. You can't do that
mhm.
realistically.
Yeah, no, you
So
got you
like,
got to know what to do with your diet for sure. How
hmm,
much you're consuming. But
yeah,
but the other hard thing with moderation is key because it's true. I mean, it's true.
yeah,
If you can be someone that is
yeah. If you
good
control
with,
your calories, you're good.
yeah,
That's all you.
if you can indulge in moderation, typically you're probably gonna be good. But the hard thing is that a lot of these things are addictive, so it's
Exactly.
hard to do it moderately. Whether it
Yeah,
be
like
whether it be fucking ice cream or cocaine, it's hard to just have
exactly.
only a little bit of it.
Exactly. Like another example, carbs. Like carbs shouldn't even be part of the food pyramid because, like, yes, you need a little, but people are like, oh, you need like a huge serving of carbs. It's more important than meat. It's not. It's not at all. Um, but also, like carbs in themselves, like just normal, natural carbs. Tell me one person that can eat a bowl of pasta and not be like, man, that's really good. I want more.
The Liver
So a
King.
thousand calories of pasta and carbs is going to be way easier for you to consume and feel hungry still. Like you're still going to feel hungry over 1,000 calories of meat because you would get full off that for sure.
Yeah, just does not taste nearly as good.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Wagyu beef or some shit.
Which is, that would be pretty fatting. But you know, um, it's just like a lot of people think like if it's the same carb amount, it's the same fullness, and that's just not the case.
For sure. For sure. All right, let's
So
let's let's change the subject. Let's
yes, we've been
stop
talking
talking
about this
about
for a while.
dieting
Sorry.
because that's fucking depressing. Um, okay.
I just had to rant about that documentary because I actually believe it was funded by the fast food industry, so they didn't have to take responsibility.
Well, thank you for raising awareness on that. I really
Yes.
appreciate it, Bad Luck, and I hope all these children that are getting abused by their parents and force
Hmm.
fed, I hope that they can rally behind you as well.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you're a terrible parent if your kid's like even slightly overweight. Like I know it's easy to because you don't want to say no to your kid, obviously. But like once you notice they're slightly overweight, you should absolutely do everything you can to undo that as quickly as you can. But when they're like morbidly obese, you're a terrible
yeah. What
person.
about what about what about people that have overweight dogs or cats?
That's also really fucked up. Actually, okay. What I find really funny about that is like, have you ever seen like fat TikTok or like fat TikTok body acceptance activism on TikTok?
Not really. I don't have a TikTok account.
I don't either, but I've seen it on YouTube and like they've argued that like fat is actually not unhealthy for human. Like your body has a set weight it's born with and it will naturally always be that weight no matter what, which I find hilarious. But those same people that think that are like, but it's animal abuse to have an overweight dog or cat. Their body's not made for it. It's like, are you kidding me? You don't see the contradiction?
It, it's it's definitely animal abuse to have an
It,
overweight
it is.
dog or cat.
Like again, it's easy because like especially old people when they didn't grow up with as much food, they see food as love, and it's easy to feel like you're being mean to say no to food. I get
No, no, it's so easy to not overfeed a dog or a
that.
cat.
Yes,
You literally
yes,
just give them what they are going to eat, and that's it. It's so easy. You don't have to
it
deal
is
with their hunger
easy.
pains. You don't have to they don't have any way of really communicating to you that they want more food like maybe a kid would do.
Yeah, exactly.
It just give them a healthy amount of food and they'll be okay, you know?
Hmm. But
The
a lot of
it's
people,
easy.
especially with certain cultures, I would say a lot of people associate food with love. And unfortunately, that has really negative side effects, especially for animals.
We we just associate it with fucking dopamine here in this country. But yeah, we
I
want
would
our
say the
dogs
old
to feel like
people.
they're on
Like
heroin.
I'm
So
speaking of family, like my family personally. My great uncle, because he grew up during the Great Depression, he would feed his dog a whole steak, and it was like a little terrier.
Jesus.
Because yeah, he would cook them a fresh steak just for the dog. And it was a fat dog. It wasn't actually that fat, surprisingly. Mainly because he just gave it steak, and that's actually not terrible.
So what was it?
Uh,
Like one steak a day or what?
yeah, one steak a day and maybe like a cup of food. It was still overweight, don't get me wrong. But
Mhm.
it was like it should have been 20 pounds. It was like 28.
Okay. I mean,
So
hey,
not
how long did that dog live though?
it lived till 15 years. I don't know their
Hey,
average
you know
lifespan.
what? Maybe it had a pretty good life.
It
If it
did.
was
It
eating
definitely
steak
did.
every
It
day,
was,
most dogs don't get steak.
yeah, it was definitely his baby.
Nice. I bet that
Hmm.
dog didn't mind being 8 pounds overweight if it was
Yeah,
getting steak every day.
yeah. Shit, if I got steak every day, I'd be overweight. I would happily be overweight. If you're
Yeah.
cooking steak, you can make me as fat as you want. But so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Where like old people and like certain cultures associate food with love
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have food. Um, maybe like back then.
Yeah.
But and like don't get me wrong, there's definitely cute overweight animals. But just because it looks cute and aesthetically is pleasing, you shouldn't put that over your pet's health. Absolutely.
For sure, it's fucked up. And I mean, it. I could sit here and say like, "Oh, it's so easy to not overfeed a dog." I mean, it's easy for me. It's easy for me. I mean, yes, there are probably for other people. There's probably things that I do where it's like this fucking dumbass. Like it's so easy for him to not do that. Like it's so easy to not smoke weed every day. Why do you do that? But for
Yeah,
me, it's like
exactly.
it's not so easy. But so
There
maybe
is
so maybe it's
different
not
mindset.
you know
Yep.
super easy for everybody to not overfeed a dog. Although
Hmm.
I do feel like it's still quite simple. But
I think okay, so I think how it should be handled is absolutely educate them that it's not okay. But I see a lot of people on the internet, especially where they're like, "Oh my goodness, someone made a mistake with their animal. They should be banned from every having animals, and I'm going to call them a literal
they
monster."
should be in prison.
Which,
They should be thrown in prison.
yeah, or killed or something. Like they
Lock
will
away
go that
and
far.
fucking throw away the keys.
Yeah,
Just
like
leave them there.
they'll treat someone that's miseducated about animals worse than they would treat a pedophile. And I feel like that is a disservice, not because like you don't have a right to like acknowledge, hey, that's bad for the animal, but you catch more flies with honey than you do shit. And being outwardly venomless will make those people and people that also maybe make those same mistakes less likely to listen.
What if they both die? The pedophiles and the animal abusers. What if they
I'm fine with that. If they're actually objectively hurting their dog and they don't care, yeah, I'm fine with that.
yeah, they're you know I am just so surprised that I'm literally been smoking underneath two fucking smoke detectors and it has not gone off. So,
You might want to change the batteries.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Just a little bit. Well, that's a good test. See, weed is good for you. It checks your smoke detectors for you, everyone.
Exactly. Keeps you on your toes
Mm-hmm.
or on the couch
Or in the fridge, depending.
or in the fridge.
That's why I don't do weed. I'm already like needing to lose weight. And I get major munchies when I smoke or eat.
Oh yeah. It's like occasional for me. Sometimes I can
Mm-hmm.
just go like just just be completely fine like right now, completely fine. But then sometimes it could just be like holy fuck, I haven't eaten in 3 days. I'm going to destroy everything in this place.
Yeah. One time when I was still inexperienced to weed, my dad's like, "Oh, eat two candies because I do," and he's been smoking for like a long time, so of course he does. I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's the normal amount." I got so fucked up, I couldn't stop laughing. Even when no one was in the room, there was no sound. I would giggle because I was giggling. Um,
Nice.
and then I was just like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so hungry." I literally don't remember how I got the food, but I got food. Like an ice cream tub. I don't know if someone went to the store for me or if it was in the house somewhere, but I ate a whole ice cream container, two leftover steak, and like four frozen bean burritos.
Hell yeah. That's so much.
Yeah.
Holy
And I
fuck.
don't remember it. It's just I woke up from a nap and the plates were in my room. I'm like, oh, I guess I ate that.
The plates were in
And
your
I was
room.
still hungry when I woke up, by the way.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Edibles will
So I
fuck
don't
you
do
up.
meat.
I don't think I've ever felt hungry off of edibles though. I usually just am freaking out because I always take way too much.
I I I always get hungry off. I usually take one or I take like a half at this point.
So yeah, what
Like
else is going on? How's the relationship going on? How's the boyfriend?
uh, Capo, for everyone that doesn't know, is doing great. He uh we haven't had any problems. We're both kind of worried that me working wouldn't give me enough time. But honestly, since I'm working nights, it hasn't been too bad because he usually goes to sleep at like 8 my time. So at most we're missing like 4 hours.
So okay, so 8 your time is what his time?
Right now it would be 9 his time. He's an old man. He goes to bed at 9 sharp. Uh but eventually once daylight saving starts or is over, I don't remember which one.
So
It will
are
be
you saying it would be 9 for him right now, or he's 1 hour ahead of you?
he's 1 hour ahead right now.
Okay, of you.
Um
Gotcha.
but eventually he'll be 2 hours ahead because we're the only ones that do daylight savings in the world for some reason.
Really?
At least in and
There's no
you know
European countries that do it?
maybe some European countries, but not Hispanic countries.
Okay. Well, Hispanic countries aren't European.
I know I said maybe some European countries. You fucking, you're lucky I can't say slurs. You're lucky I almost said a bunch of slurs at you.
Wow. That's just, listen, that's out of pocket for you.
It's not. Audience members, I want you to know it's not.
Well, nice. So, yeah. Freaking, that's good that that's going well. I'm glad that you're enjoying your job. I
Mm,
I did figure that there would be a little bit of drama there.
yeah, there's a shit ton of drama.
Oh yeah.
For everyone who doesn't know, I work with 3 women, and women literally cannot exist in a space by themselves without there being some sort of drama.
Yeah, no, it's fucked up. Like if they'll just create it out of thin air.
They fucking hate each other. Like
Yeah.
they were talking so like because okay, so I usually work with one or the other. They don't work together. So one of them will just like take me aside in the middle of their shift before I even met both of them. It's like, oh yeah, she's such a fucking dirty bitch. Be prepared for worse. And then she was super nice to me, and then she took me aside and she's like, "Did you talk to the one dirty fucking bitch? I fucking hate her." Blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, calm down. I'm new. I've been here for a day. I don't need your life story, drama, blood feud because they've been working there for like 5 years each or
Yeah, you know
more.
what? And I bet that they are nice to each other when they see each other in person.
They are.
Yeah, exactly. And they're
They
just so ready to throw each other under the bus. That's a crazy thing.
okay. So the reason why they like clash a lot is one of them's really, I guess, rude to, they're more strict with customers. Like when it, like they won't throw in free food. They won't really like um give the customers a break or like anything like that. But the other one will buy stuff for the customers or cook things for the customers fresh. Um, because we do own a kitchen back there. And so she's like the favorite, like cashier. Um, and because of that, um, she'll refer to the one that doesn't do that stuff as the cranky one. And then all the customers will shit talk her, the cranky one.
No, she's
Um,
got the customers talking shit too.
yeah, the customers. Okay,
It's deeper than I
When
thought.
it comes to the cranky one, I have not met one customer that hasn't said bad things about her if they mention her at all.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time they open their mouth about the cranky one, they're talking smack. There's never been a night, which is weird because she's totally fine to me. She's nice to me, but customers hate her ass.
Damn. And is it all because the other one gives them free shit? Is that it?
I will say that the cranky one is a little bit cranky with like okay, so some kid picked up something. He didn't have enough money for it, so he threw it like in an unrelated aisle, and she's like, "Come here and give it to me." Or no, first she was like, that doesn't go there." And it's like there's already a line, so like just put it back later. But he's like, "Oh, okay," and then he puts it somewhere else, still not the right spot, and she's like, "Just give it here." And he's like, "I'm going to put it back once I'm done paying for it. Just give it here." Like in front of a whole group of customers.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's really funny. The kid doesn't. But anyways, she's like that with everyone. Like if you do anything to tick her off, she will let you know.
Wow, yeah. She sounds like an old witch. I bet her vagina smells like farts.
I'm not gonna say anything bad because they are my coworkers, and if they somehow find them, I would like everyone to know I'm not involved in the drama.
Very good. And you should keep it like that too. You should just
Mm-hmm.
let it go in one ear, out the other.
Yes.
That's
I
my
just
that's my
think
advice to
what
you.
other people have said. I have not said anything myself.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I heard I was staying with my parents up there when I went to Maine. I heard my dad talking to my one of my sisters, and she was just talking mad shit about my other sister. My dad had it on speakerphone. He was just like chilling in the kitchen, had it on fucking speakerphone, just saying like yeah every now and then to what she's saying because my sister's just going off, just fucking listing everything about my other sister. That's
My sisters do that every time they talk.
yeah, it's
100.
crazy. It's crazy. And you know
Mhm.
what? You know what? 5 years ago, immature Dan probably would have ran to my other sister and been like, guess the fuck what? She's been talking mad shit about you and just listed it all off just because it was fun.
I learned not to do that when I was really young because if you even agree with the person that's talking shit, like after she stops being mad at the sister, she will and then be like, "Oh, okay, I was venting to bad luck, and he agreed with me even though he wasn't even mad at you. So that means he really means what he's saying, and I thought you should know."
Yeah. I don't know. That I'm just not saying anything just because I don't want to deal with it. They're fucking crazy.
Exactly.
They're crazy bitches. All right, especially the one that was talking mad shit. It was just funny because my dad would just be like saying he's just like making food and eating food and just saying yeah every now and then.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And women, you can talk about toxic masculinity, about men bottling up their feelings too much, but ladies, maybe you should start bottling up some of your feelings. Because holy fuck, this is a universal experience
Oh, it is.
I've had with women, and you cannot fucking deny it.
Yeah.
And if you are denying it, you're probably getting talked shit about and you just don't know about it yet.
Yeah, it's happening to you as we speak.
As we speak, one of your best friends, like, did you see her cricket ass fucking teeth? What a lot.
She looks like a fucking trout. She looks like a salmon.
Yeah, just like
And she smells like it
just
too.
ma- Oh, it's so bad that it's so accurate. I've literally never not experienced this with women, ever.
But you know what? It can be entertaining. It can be very
It-
entertaining. You just don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, ladies, whenever someone says women aren't funny, I would like you to point out that you're fucking hilarious when it comes to talking smack. You will take the one insecurity that anyone has and you will ruin them with it.
And you
And
know
it's
what? It's hilarious because they don't even know that they're being funny. They're being completely serious,
Oh,
and They
It's
just
like
don't
how
realize how ridiculous it is that they'd even be
exactly. Have you ever
doing.
seen someone rage because they got killed in the game or something? Like I'm guilty of that. I will get
Yes.
super fun. And Kevin's reaction is always just to laugh because I'm serious about my rage. Like I hope you die. Ah. And freaking he'll just giggle. Um and that's the exact same reaction everyone's having when ladies are going off about people they hate.
Hmm. Yeah.
Exact same reaction.
But you know what? It's entertaining. That's why I watched Jersey Shore when I was a kid and freaking.
You're all got a little bit of Snooki with her. That's why you hated her so much, ladies. I'm sorry. There's a pinch of Snooki in you. There's a pickle of Snooki in you.
Yeah, but there's also on the flip side, there's a bit of Big Ange from Mob Wives in all of us. And
No idea.
she's like the opposite. Big Ange.
I never watched that
Good.
show.
Good. It was
I'm
not.
not.
It was probably the most scripted reality show out there at the time.
No, that's definitely the one bartender show.
I don't even know that one.
Okay, at least for the first season, it was all entirely scripted. 100. I think they stopped scripting it because they just got crazy enough that they didn't have to. But like they would literally like pull out baggies of dead mice, like in a bar. But like you could tell they were frozen mice,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be like, "Look, your restaurant's and they have like frozen peaky mice feet, like
Nice.
clearly.
Put that in a shot glass and drink it down.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, oh, yeah, we're gonna say this restaurant's infected with mice, but you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna use mice we bought at the store because it's so infected we can't show a real one.
I wonder what that drink would be called, like a fucking
I
Serbian
mean, they're
car
called
bomb or
pinkies,
something.
so maybe something like uh meaty pink.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it Serbian car bomb. That just
Oh my
vodka with a baby mouse in it
oh my
and some milk.
oh,
All right,
anyway.
let's shut this podcast off. It's almost an hour into it.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good. I think we covered some funny subjects.
Yes, for sure. It was a good one. It was a good podcast. Hopefully,
Yep.
it sounds all right, but I'm
Yeah,
uploading it
hopefully my
regardless.
new mic actually made it different
Mm-hmm.
on. Yep.
Yeah, and then we'll
So
see about the whole editing aspect. You know, maybe we can actually get like a decent background or something. But that's
I
basically the
told you to
extent of how.
commission my boyfriend for one at this point. Fuck, I'll pay for it. Just
I
tell me
know,
what you want.
but listen, I'm using iMovie, and I need to figure out how I can have a fucking picture for the background. So I just got to do a
You
little bit of homework.
boomer.
I know it's
Anyway.
bad. It's bad. All right, let's put this bitch to rest for the night.
Yep. This has been the Pound Lounge podcast, and I'm your co-host, Bad Luck, signing off, and he is
Dan.
okay, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.